the question would be for maybe a lot of people is, what do you mean by efficient, right? What is efficient skiing? Well, efficient skiing is using the least amount of energy without tiring down the muscles, so you can ski longer, not only longer in a day, but longer in your lifetime.
This is Harald Harb. He's 75 years old and still skiing like this. Smooth, balanced, effortless. The kind of skiing most people never reach, even in their prime. He raced on the World Cup. He coached Olympic gold medalists. He made the US demonstration team at age 42. And for the past 18 years, his ski camps have sold out in just 24 hours. But this isn't a story about elite athletes. It's about what Harald discovered and what he teaches now that changes everything for everyday skiers, especially skiers over 60. Because what if skiing into your 70s wasn't about decline? What if it could feel easier, lighter, stronger, more in control, more enjoyable? That's what Harald figured out. This isn't about pushing harder. It's about skiing smarter. And if you've ever thought, my best days are behind me, this might change your mind. Welcome to the world of Harald Harb and efficient skiing for skiers over 60. All right, brilliant. Well, welcome everyone to today's show. The theme today is efficient skiing for skiers over 60, and I'm joined by Harald Harb, who Harold, I'm going to slice in some of your skiing and some of your background to introduce you to the guys. But I thought it was a great opportunity to catch up today because your Facebook group has just blown up, Skiers Over 60, and you're at like 23,000 views. So there's an opportunity because you're kind of the master of efficient skiing into your older years, in a sense. So can you explain a little bit about, I guess, your skiing and the background and how I can ski more efficiently in 3 more years' time, even though I ski efficiently now because we work together, or when I hit 60 and beyond?
Well, it's great to get back with you, Peter. We've done a webinar before, and well, my background is ski racing myself, and then of course coaching ski racers, all the way to the Olympics, and some of those Olympians did really well, like won medals and in the world championships as well as and national championships and NCAA, you name it. I was involved at some level in all those years, and then I got involved with coaching and teaching instructors and coaching and ski instructors in PSIA when I was on the national demonstration team. So I've had like a full spectrum of types of skiers, and then when you're on the demo team, you're coaching instructors to teach and also to ski better. But you're also dealing with a lot of instructors who are 55 and 60 and 65 and even 70. There are a lot of ski instructors out there that are, so you're watching them as well as, and then you're watching the public when you bring them into our camps. Like I run, and my company runs ski camps in Austria and in Colorado. So we see a lot of people in the 50s and 60s and even some 80s sometimes. And having studied in depth from a scientific standpoint, and what I mean by scientific is understanding the anatomy, your muscle groups, how your body moves and is capable of moving, and also the biomechanics, which means how does your body have to move with equipment attached to it, which, I'm coming at it from, I came at coaching and skiing from how does the body deal with the equipment rather than continuing to teach the same thing that was originally the teaching systems for long wooden skis with leather boots. And
Right.
the basic teaching systems at most of the national ski instructor alliances or organizations is still based on that kind of skiing with those big skis, heavy skis, wooden, skis. And so, anyways, we we've been studying that for over 30 years, um, breaking it down. How do people move? How do people move better? How can people actually move better with the better equipment we have now? And equipment is all over the board right now. It's the wide skis and longer skis. A lot of people want to use those for all mountain and powder skiing. Then there's the on-piste skis, which are more shaped, more carvy, more turny for people who want to ski, and control and enjoy the groom slopes. And so you can go all over the place, and the same goes with ski boots. Boot selection is a big part of being able to ski well. We know this through our studies, and we've studied it from a movement standpoint. What's efficient? What is it? So the question would be for maybe a lot of people is, what do you mean by efficient? Right? What is efficient skiing? Well, efficient skiing is using the least amount of energy without tiring down the muscles, so you can ski longer, not only longer in a day, but longer in your lifetime, being able to perpetually improve to some extent too, and not wearing out your joints. Skiing, there are loads in skiing, and because we're dealing with gravity. So you're putting load into your body, and your joints have to deal with those loads. And if your skeleton isn't lined up properly to accept those loads in a way that you can absorb them well and deal with them well, then the joints are going to take the brunt of it, and your joints are going to take the loads. And in joints, we all know from our ages, the knees start aching, and we get all kinds of pains, and then the ligaments get abused and used, and so do the tendons, so which are connect muscle to bone. So with the idea of efficiency, we're trying to reduce the wear and tear. With the wear and tear reduction, we get more efficient muscle contractions and use of muscles. And we can teach people how to use those muscles in a way they can ski more relaxed. And that's really the two things that go together here are teaching skiing and using skiing where you can relax to make the movements and stay in balance with the movements. And balance is given a lot of lip service, but very few people on the slopes actually ski in balance. They're fighting the slope most of the time. And if you're a 60s and over skier, that can shorten your day, and it can shorten your years on snow. And we know the skiers we deal with, they're so enthusiastic. They want to ski forever. They want to ski till their last days. And I don't blame them, because it's a great sport. It's just a wonderful sport for aging people because it keeps you young too. So they go hand in hand.
Yep. And you're definitely doing something right, because I think this is your 18th year in a row of your ski camps that you run have sold out in 24 hours, and already next year you're already sold out this year. But there is a wait list, so we can link to that to the guys if they want to learn more. But tell us about the ski camp journey, because you have a lot of skiers, in their 60s and well beyond, showing up year after year to I guess to lengthen their career in a sense.
Well, we have a great following, and it's not just in the United States; it's worldwide. Our people come to our camps. We run 8 camps a year. They start in December, and they go all the way into April and early May in Austria at the Hintertux Glacier. And for 18 years, we've been filling them up all the time. So, which is great. I mean, we love it.
Yeah, and then once you're in, you don't want to lose your spot. So the camp experience kind of encapsulates everything that you sort of understand and know about skiing that you deliver to the clients. So can you break it down for the over 60s skier or anyone who's watching this? We don't discriminate. Anyone can become an expert skier, which is your first book and video. But how does it work? How do we become more efficient skiing?
Well, without trying to plug anything here, I've written 4 books on skiing, and the first one was a bestseller. It's called "Anyone Can Be an Expert Skier," and then there was Expert Skier 2, and then the last book that was commercially successful was The Essentials of Skiing, and there are 5 essentials, and those are well explained with photos, and there's video to cover it from our website as well. But and then we have the instructor manual, which is for people who want to teach their kids or teach their spouse or friends. And you can actually learn to teach this system with the instructor manual. And a lot of instructors buy it, and a lot of regular people buy it to teach their kids. So, anyways, and then we have the alignment manual. Haven't touched on that yet, but we years ago, even before I was teaching people over 60 or while I was teaching racers, I was doing alignment with ski boots and making sure that ski boots were set up properly for your anatomy. Because if your ski boots aren't right, and 90 to 95% of skiers can benefit from altering the angles of their ski boots, because if they don't alter them, the efficiency of movement to side is interrupted, and then you have to adapt to the ski boot being the wrong angle for your body and your skis to make the turn you want to make. So you have to use different body parts that make you inefficient. So we have that incorporated into our ski shop, where we do alignment on boots, and we do forward lean stuff, lateral stuff, bottom of the boot stuff. We also recommend boots and that go together well with skis, because there's a lot of variation of heel high, toe high, which is called ramp angle. And these are all parts of what influence the way you ski and your balance. So we've addressed all of the mechanical side. And that's why earlier on I was talking about biomechanics, which is using your body efficiently with the equipment and knowing what the equipment does. And if you don't know what the equipment does as an instructor, you're blind most of the time. You're flying blind. If you haven't measured and done a real assessment of your skier, you might be trying to teach him the right movement, but that skier can't do it because his boots are off. So you're really spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere.
So I guess for the people that are watching, when you go to a camp, you don't just coach, you also get indoors. The guys have got their shorts on, you're taking measurements, you're looking at their equipment, their footbeds, their ramp angle. Everything is taken care of with the ultimate goal of creating a better skier, but in a sense, an efficient skier who can balance. Because like before I met you, I was one of those inefficient skiers, and then I met you, and I went, oh, how long has this been going on for? It's so much easier to ski when you're in balance as opposed to fighting your equipment.
Yeah, I didn't get into this without knowing that it was not easy, and because I had racers showing up in my race programs that were really frustrated with the lack of ability to move certain ways on snow and create angles and high angles at a certain point in turns that you need. And that's when I started working on boots, right? And you could see that, wow, this is night and day different. You can make night and day changes very quickly. So I didn't leave any leaf unturned, so to speak, about figuring every aspect of skiing out. And when I was talking about doing a scientific approach to analyzing skiing so that people can ski more relaxed, less stress, less impact, better joint function, better movement understanding, smaller movements instead of gross movements that throw you out of balance. All of this has been in skiing forever. And now we have ways to get people to get efficient and start relaxing and be in control. And the difference is that what I didn't allude to, but I kind of explained that the old teaching systems that were used for, the heavy, long wooden skis and even metal skis, they omitted a large part of the turn, and the energy that is being used to ski that way is pushing the skis away from you out to the side, which just makes the delay of the pressure longer, and then the impact is harder. And the way we teach it, it's you're rolling onto the edges and building up the angles so that you're spreading out the pressure all the way, like smoothly through the turn in a beautiful arc that you can control, and you're not being bounced around, thrown around, and having to deal with hard edge sets, and recovering from a harder edge set, and trying to grip on ice or grip on hard snow, and and people go, oh, and this is a common across the board statement. I'm skiing so much longer in a day without muscle fatigue, and my knees don't hurt. These are really common statements we get back from our clients.
Yeah, so you basically building just the winning formula for people through camps, and then obviously because your camps sold out, we started chatting a few years ago, and then just like your Facebook group has sort of blown up, we blew up initially, which was just me asking the questions and kind of reintroducing you to the world in a sense, because you were so busy at camp and you've got a pretty cool lifestyle. But I'm like, well, let's get together and keep sharing this message of, I guess, of what you've figured out. So then we started together with you're the star within the Harb Ski Academy, and then we thought, because that's a way people can kind of work with you outside of that. We'll leave a link below in the description if you want to find out some more information there. But that's kind of a really fun project that's just sort of blowing up as well.
I started I started the 60s and over Facebook page because on my own personal Facebook page, I had 5,000 friends, followers, whatever you want to call them. And there was a lot of really good down to earth discussion about how do I change my skiing? How do I make my skiing better? What is PMTS, our technique that we use? That's the name of it. It's called Primary Movements Teaching System. That's PMTS. And primary movements means you're starting at the bottom of your body, bottom of the kinetic chain, and you're making movements that then help you balance and support those movements that you start at the bottom. And that's why it's called primary movements. Primary means the first in the order of, and that's the way we teach the skiing and build it up. So we started doing that on my page, my personal Facebook page, but it was overwhelming. It wasn't a personal Facebook page anymore. It was like my 5,000 friends that I only really had met a couple of hundred of them, right? Or knew them. So anyways, I thought, okay, let's start a 60s and over page, because a lot of people who ski are still carrying baggage of stuff they learned when their first lessons and years that they took lessons, and they're still skiing that way. So I put that up, and I started putting up a few tips and from my blog and a few other places, and I just didn't get the involvement. Let's say there was it wasn't picking up involvement at the rate that I thought, and there wasn't really a lot of discussion on that page. So I thought I'd just let it go and let it float for a while, and then I come back months later and I see like the signups have been doubling and tripling, and then I go, wow, this is amazing. So there must be something going on with the Facebook's algorithms that say, look, this is a really hot Facebook page because people are really joining. We're going to put it out there more often, so more people are finding it, and the more people join, the more people are finding it. It's one of those, multiplication deals, right? And
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's up to 23,000, I think now, and it could be 50,000 by the end of the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, which is great. So, there's a lot of skiers out there, and as on the page, they're sort of sharing their love of skiing, but they're also getting introduced to you, because I look at it and people are posting, they're like, I've been out of skiing for a while and I'm coming back in, but these new shaped skis, I don't really know how to use them, and because people are like, oh, I came out of a relationship and my partner didn't ski and now I'm back. How do I go about it? And all sorts of reasons to get back into skiing. So within that group, there's going to be like a segment that are going to be really interested in also longevity of skiing and doing all the things that you take care of in camp.
It's a really diverse group because we have ski instructors who've been teaching for years. We've got new people who are starting up. We've got skiers. They're putting their pictures up when they started skiing at 5 years old, and it's great. It's a wonderful place to interact and find out about skiing, as well as introducing yourself to the group. So
Yeah.
when and going back to your comment, introduction about the academy that we have going, the reason we started the academy is because people were filling up our camps so quickly, and the access wasn't easy to get to our camps because they're so in demand. So we thought, well, how do we get the information we can get across to people at camps? How do we get more people involved? And so they can benefit from the type of skiing that you can learn when you use PMTS, and learn how to ski with relaxed movements and efficiency, and even get your boots done and get your boots lined up so you can ski with more ease. So you don't have to work as hard. So the academy now is just been phenomenal. People have joined. They're really enthusiastic. They're learning almost faster than you can learn in a camp, because there's no when you're at a ski camp, you're on the snow, so you don't want to waste a lot of time standing around talking, and so you want to ski, and everybody
Yeah.
wants to ski. So we ski people, and we do exercise, and we interpret their movements, and we give them the correction movement and all these different things that we
Hmm.
do. And we do a lot of different things at our camps on a daily basis that are not just regular ski instruction. We have our own techniques for getting people to understand their movements, how their bodies work. But in the academy, you get a really deep understanding of your movements, so that you can go out and then use your own understanding and apply that. And we give you video analysis on the academy. We have people put up their own video, send us their video, and we do the analysis. And then we have superstar skiers, and we do interviews. We have instructors, well-known instructors, and we only put up successful instructors. We have interviews with them. So there's a lot going on there. There's dryland exercises. There's boot information, selection of boots. There's a lot of things going on there. Anyways, so that's kind of why I backed off for a while. But then I said, we got to have a different way of doing this, and that's why we started the academy, which has been
Yeah.
great.
So
We
the
really enjoy it.
Saturday afternoons, you live on the couch, Harold Q&A. You can ask him any questions. So it's unique access to Harold. And I do all the onboarding calls, so people are like, "Oh my God, this is so exciting! I've read Harold's books 20 years ago, and it changed my life." And yada yada yada, right? And we just have a ball inside there. But then we thought, well, how can we help people that may not really understand? Because there's a few elements, and we thought we could help out the over 60s and anyone else who's watching this. We don't discriminate, but we're going to do an exclusive 3-part training series that you've never done before, where you're going to walk people through kind of, I guess, the same format that's inside the academy. There's the all the things you can do to prepare off the snow in terms of understanding, dryland training, movement, and fitness. Then there's the alignment component, and then we're going to talk about the on snow drills and exercises, and how you can become your own best coach. So we're going to break that up into a 3-part training series. There'll be a link below in the description, or you can go to Harb Ski Academy /free and sign up for this course. There's a lot going on in skiing to get it right, but you've got this ability to break it down and make it really simple. So we thought we'd extend this sort of chat into something that's going to be really worthwhile to people.
Uh, you know, a lot of the 60s, 55-year-old, whatever age group, they come to camp, and the crazy thing about our camps is people don't come once. What they tell me is, oh my God, if I had only learned how to do this when I was in my 20s, when I started skiing, or 30s. And so we're trying to get it out there so that when you're 60, you're going to go, okay, I want to learn this now because I've got another 20 years I can ski. I don't want to be skiing the way I did for the last 20 years or 10 years or whatever it is, because I know I'm not going to be able to ski if I continue. Like, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, my back hurts. This is a different game that we're producing here. It's a different game we're offering to you, and it's free. The only thing I would say is, if you're not sure you want to be improving your skiing and having more fun, don't look at this, because once you do, there's no going back. It is literally enticing. It's it captures you, and it really brings you to a different level. And people, once they see it, and they just want more of it, because they see improvement every time they add more to what they're doing. So be ready. If you're going to try it, be ready to be hooked.